Hi. It's been a hot minute, hasn't it? Oh my gosh. I know. I let's see. Do I have a I don't know. I'm scattered. How you been? I haven't seen you in a long time. It's just been life, It's just been life. I don't know. Some days I think, I'm going to write this down, but then it's so scattered it doesn't matter. There's no writing it down. There's no chapters or verses or anything like that. I'm going to see if I can find my link and put it out in a couple of spots. Excuse me. I go live and then I turn my head on you. No, I don't see it there. Let me look here. How you guys been? I don't remember when my last actual live was. We've had a lot of things going on, or at least I have. Okay, there is share to page, share to group, share to feed. I don't. I wanted a link. I wish I could think of when the last time I was on live. It's been a while. I want to say it was in January, and I really can't tell now when it was. I have had so much going on between Dad and his appointments, general household stuff, the church. The church has really taken up a lot of my time um, in the last few weeks, mostly because we we had to go through with the roof replacement, and share. Say hello if you're out there. Say hello if you're out there. On the church, we went ahead and had to get the roof replaced. Then I put in for a grant from the West Virginia United Methodist Foundation and or the United Methodists. It's a Humphreys grant, and it was a very good letter. It was, well, obviously, I think it's a good letter, a good supporting document, and rationale and all that stuff about what's going on. And the letter was never delivered to the Humphreys Grant Committee. So I reached out to um, the district office and asked them about it. I said, "Hey, just checking in, wanting to know how things are going with the Humphreys Grant. When does the committee meet? How soon do you know after they meet?" They had already met. They had already chosen their projects, and there was never one submitted for our church. And honestly, I just about lost my mind over that. I've really been um, upset over it. It it was a potentially substantial grant, and it's now put us in a position where we weren't able to pay the contractor in full. And he's been gracious. I've got a little while yet. We're about $2,000 short, and I'm basically tapped out as far as places to reach out to for this. I've reached out to everybody that I know to reach out to, and everybody with even a little bit of money to contribute has helped us. But I don't know where the other 2,000 is going to come from. I have to give it to God. It doesn't mean I don't. I'm not supposed to worry about it. I get, we give things to God, we let Him handle it. But I'm just so hurt over it, and it was probably an honest mistake. I don't want to get into that, but wow, because I'd asked about it. I'd asked, did you get that submitted? Yep, took it to Charleston. It doesn't appear to have made it to Charleston, so. And there was nothing that could be done after the fact. Those of you guys who have worked with grants know that there are deadlines and there are deadlines. And when you're applying for a grant, there is a deadline. It doesn't matter why your application didn't get in. If it didn't make it by the deadline, it didn't make it by the deadline. So we're going to try again in June, but the problem is we have this contractor. And I don't know an easy, I mean, there are ways that, churches raise money, but there's not enough of us to do it. So I keep trying to, get myself ready for the day that I have to say, well, church is just going to have to close because we can't keep it open. But I don't think that's God's will. It's one of those cases, I've talked about in church. I think our guest has just come back. Yeah. So it's one of those things where, I've talked about in church, especially about the story about Abraham and Sarah waiting for a child, and they wait for a child for 80 years. Abraham's pushing 100. Sarah's in her 90s before the baby comes. And in that time, after they were promised a child, Sarah convinces Abraham, hook up with my handmaid here and get yourself an heir. So he does, and that's not what God wanted. And eventually Isaac comes along, but it's really hard. It's really hard. It's when you don't know where the money's going to come from, and it's compounded by some other things. We've got a couple of months worth of utilities money set back. So with our regular tithes and offerings, we can keep the lights on, but that's about it. I have been doing some social media. I've been streaming our Sunday service. I started streaming our Bible studies a couple of weeks ago. So I'm trying to reach out to more people. I do post those links to all the, the good old standards, community forums and stuff. And it's just going to be a challenge. But that's really what's been taking up most of my time. It hasn't been with, well, the chickens and ducks are here and they're laying their eggs. I mean, they're kind of on autopilot, But, and the house is kind of on autopilot, other than I don't have my tax stuff. I have nothing for taxes. I started the sheet for the utilities, and that was back in January, and I haven't been able to do anything with it. It takes a lot of time. People don't understand how much time it takes to really do stuff, really put your bulletins together for church, to get your sermon together. And see, it's not just it's not just the sermon. It's not just the bulletin. I'm doing the sermon. I'm doing the bulletin. I'm doing the major shopping for the church. I'm doing all the utility. I'm paying all the bills. A lot of them are on autopilot, but I'm also doing all the deposits. And of course, I have to drive 20 miles one way almost to get to the bank. And arranging for the roof, the contractor for the roof, getting that stuff taken care of, getting minor repairs done. I don't have anybody else there. And it's an overwhelming feeling of this is going to have to close. But I just, in my heart, of course, our heart will lie to us. Scripture tells us that. And so will our brains. But it's just an overwhelming feeling that I'm not going to be able to keep juggling this, although I have been doing it for a couple years now. but I'm just so exhausted. I really am. So I don't know. I don't know how long. I'm not going to be on here very long today either, because here in about 10 minutes or so, the sun will be going down. I have to go lock the birds up, and we've got Bible study tomorrow. You're more than welcome to join us. We do live stream that over on the church Facebook page, Diamond Methodist Church. I don't have a YouTube set up for it. It's just there's only so much of me to go around, and it sounds easy, but it's not when you've got everything else to take care of. I did get the website for the church put up. It is part of the West Virginia United Methodist Organization's website, so they do the hosting. I did upload some very basic stuff there. Obviously, I take care of the church Facebook page. I'm putting the Bible studies together. I'm doing the handouts myself. I'm doing the slideshows for the live stream. When we have our Sunday service, I'm going in and I'm setting up for that, except for the music. Mary comes in and does that. She usually needs a lot of help because Mary has some challenges. But I already have all that, I have all that selected. And so she's just looking for the CD that the music's on, and it can take a while. I set up my phone for the camera. I stream using my data on my phone. And it's exhausting. It really is exhausting. But what are you going to do? What are you going to do? I'm kind of wallowing here, kind of a pity party. But I think I've earned it. Oh, around here, not a whole lot. The roof is done on the doghouse. I think that was done before the last. I'm gonna have to go back and look and see when my last live actually was. That's about all I've done over at the doghouse. All I've been able to do is maintain. I've not been able to get headway on anything. Property that my dad has, the county planning office came by and said, "Hey, somebody complained, and those old trailers that are sitting there need to come down, and here you go." So we're forced into that. It should have been done a long time ago, but that's been on Dad, and that was his responsibility. And family members rented those places and neglected to take care of them and didn't pay him any rent, and so they fell into disrepair. And if you're living somewhere that belongs to a member of your family, you need to be paying rent. Even if it's a room, you need to be paying rent. If you're an adult, you need to be paying rent. These 3 trailers, now one of them, one of the grandchildren, Dad's grandchildren, did send him a substantial check several years ago and said, I'm making good money now, and this is for some back rent that I probably owed. The other ones didn't. The trailers are disasters. They didn't take care of them. And, so now they got to come down, and Dad's got no money from them for, I'm going to say, 30 years anyway. But people got free rent, free repairs, free storage. But I'm going to take care of that. I've entered into an agreement with the county to have those removed, and we'll pay half, and the county will pick up the other half, and they will be gone. And I don't care if you lost a diamond ring in there, it's going to the landfill. Don't care. You've had 30 years to get your stuff out. Not my problem. But that's all she wrote in it. I'm going to try to do, I reached out to Carla and asked her about helping me put together a a gospel sing. And she's rather busy herself, but she said she would try to, um, oh, she said she would try to get some time to talk to me about it. She's taking classes and she runs I don't know if it's really called a halfway house. It's kind of a shelter for women who are coming out of difficult situations. And she plays piano beautifully at her church. But I just don't have the connections because partially I don't have time. And when I say I don't have time, I honestly mean I don't have time. I'm still in a half an hour now instead of doing something I need to be doing, getting ready for tax season. And I got to run out, like I said, and put the birds to bed. And then um, it won't be long before I'm going to bed because I usually go to bed by 8 o'clock because we get up so early. But I do have to finish getting some stuff ready. We're studying actually. We are. I don't have the. I put my printouts all. Oh, they're there. We're actually using this book, 12 Women of the Bible, to do a Bible study. We are studying Deborah. Is it Deborah this time? It's Deborah this time. No, it's the Shulamite woman this time. Tomorrow at 10, I have to pick up some things for brunch, but in the morning. But tomorrow at 10, we'll be studying the Shulamite woman. The Shulamite woman marries Solomon, and the what I grew up calling Song of Solomon, which is the Song of Songs. Yep, Song of Songs is an Old Testament book, and it's a beautiful love story. And it's not only a love story between Solomon and his wife, but it also reflects the love story between the Lord and us as humans. And I'm really, I need to read up a little more on this. I've been studying, but it's just, it is what it is. It's just, I'm exhausted. I'm exhausted. So, but I need to go put the birds to bed, and then I will go over to the Diamond Methodist Church Facebook page and look. You should see a couple of announcements for. There's two different ones because we also do in-person Bible study. So there's the notice for the in-person Bible study, and then we started streaming with the start of this book. So it's been about 3 weeks ago we started streaming Bible study, and it's going okay. It's not the best camera and stuff, but it's good, and it's good enough for what we're doing right now. And if we continue to build, then we'll be able to put a better backdrop and stuff. It's just the wall right now, but I'm eating myself up with the ums again. I'm out of practice. So we will we'll start streaming at 10. I try to be really prompt with my streamings when they're scheduled like that. We'll go about an hour, 50 minutes maybe, but about an hour at the most. And we'll be talking about, if you want to follow along in your Old Testament, go to the Book of Solomon, Song of Solomon. And we'll be just looking at chapter 1 because we're just talking about the Shulamite woman. We're not studying the entire book. And the next week we'll study Ruth. And the next week after that is Pua and Sifra. So this is like I said, a series on women of the Bible. And I know there are some folks out there, probably a lot of you guys, who just roll your eyes and say, women of the Bible. But let me tell you something. There's no one mentioned in the Bible that is a throwaway character. The Bible, if there is someone in the Bible, it's there for a reason. And there are a lot of women mentioned in the Bible. And, women were created. Yeah, we were created after Adam, but we were created from a rib. We were equal to Adam. Now, we won't get into a big discussion about the fall, because if you're a follower of Christ, the fall isn't relevant as far as the ability to worship, the ability to read, the ability to follow God, to serve. And Christ shows us that in many of the acts that he does, that he first, the first miracle was for his mother, who asks him, do this. And he says, my time hasn't come yet. Woman, my time's not come yet. Do it anyway. So he does it. He reveals himself to the woman at the well. He reveals himself first to Mary at the grave after the resurrection. And these things show us that Christ's ministry was equal to everyone, and everyone is equal. And I know there's a lot of folks that say, well, yeah, but you have to be under a man. I am under a man. I'm under Christ. See, in my house, in my personal household, the household, the home, the man should be, we're partners. Man and woman, we're partners. But man tends to have, is given a little more authority. Does it mean women have to sit down and shut up? It's not what it means at all. But when it comes to the house of God, when it comes to the sanctuary, when it comes to the church, human men are brides of Christ. Okay? Christ is the bridegroom, and we are the brides of Christ, who are to keep our lamps full of oil and the wicks trimmed. There is no gender anymore that way in service to the Lord. So men and women are now equal again. Because in the Garden of Eden, they were intended to be, and then the fall and all that stuff. And Christ rights that ship. He brings us back into right relationship with each other, where we're partners together, and where we are all capable, based on our calling, if the Lord has called us to do so, to serve God, whether we're preachers, teachers, prophets. There is no more male, female, there is no Jew, Gentile. Scripture says this. So you can argue with Scripture all you want to. You're not going to argue with me, because I'm not going to argue. But it's time for me to fly. And I'm going to get off here and go put the birds up for the evening and get ready to head upstairs myself, get things cleaned up, and got another day tomorrow. Whew, busy day. So I'm going to go. It's not quite been 30 minutes yet, about 25, but that's enough for today. I'd really like to be able to get back. Oh, I know what I was going to share with you. So my dad is having back surgery next week, a week from today. He's having this synthetic bolt looking thing put in his lower back to try to give him some relief from the pain in his back and down his legs and weakness, and it has to do with a stenosis of the spine in the tailbone and the pressure on the spinal column. So, prayer warriors, I appreciate your prayers for Dad for his full recovery from that. I'd like to keep Dad around a long time still yet, but I want his time here to be enjoyable, And I know he's nervous, but he'll be okay. God's got this. So, and pray for my church, if you don't mind. I covet prayers for the church that we will be able to regrow and be able to reach people who need us, and that we will be able to find those people who are looking. And if that means being a different type of church, then it means being a different type of church. But that we will find our path, and we will be able to help those who are seeking. So I think that's going to be it this time. Yeah, Dad, the church, me, I've always coveted your prayers that I obey the Lord's directives and my health and all that stuff too. I'm gonna go. It was good to see you again, and keep a weather eye out. We'll be back again. Hopefully, it's garden season come, and um, yeah, about the time you think it's almost 80 degrees one day, and then it's snowing the next. It's crazy. Of course, this is spring. This is springtime, so um, the spring is a season of change. We're changing from winter to summer, so we're going to have cold days and then we're going to have warm days and stuff. I don't worry about it that much. It's just a little frustrating trying to figure out what to put on. But anyway, I'm going to go, and we'll catch up with you soon. And it was good to see you again. And be sure and share and like and all those happy things. Say hello. Let me know you were here, and we'll see you again soon. Bye bye.